Wizards, elves, knights, and monsters. Sounds like a good old classic fantasy tale, doesn't it? I would describe Theft of Swords by Michael J. Sullivan as a light-hearted high fantasy adventure for all age groups. This book is a combo version of two interconnected stories in the series. In this book review, I will discuss why the Riyria Revelations is a great addition to your fantasy collection, what worked for me in this novel, and what did not. Before we start with a quick summary, a gentle reminder to subscribe and follow this channel for more fantasy book content. Let's begin. In the world of Elan, more than 1,000 years ago, the lands were ruled by the elves. After several years of war, they were forced to concede to man and have ever since been treated as lesser beings. Many centuries later, magic that once ran rampant throughout the land has been forgotten, and magic wielders are rare and viewed with suspicion. In Theft of Swords, two master thieves, Hadrian Blackwater and Royce Melbourne, together known as the Riyria, take up not-so-legal jobs and solve impossible problems mostly for the nobility in exchange for a hefty sum. Hadrian, a swordsman like no other, is charming and dreams of doing good deeds and living a life that does not need them to hide from the law anymore. Royce, master of stealth and shadows who can pick any lock, is more distrustful and does not believe life has much good to offer. The first half of the novel is about a mysterious royal murder that introduces us to all the major players in the series, while the second part has some more serious content where an ancient magical beast terrorizes a faraway village. Both these stories are interconnected to an overarching larger political conspiracy set in motion centuries ago by the corrupt Church of Nifron. When Hadrian and Royce are hired to steal a sword from King Amrat's palace, little did they guess they will soon become pawns in an ancient game of power, betrayal, and sorcery. The story is set in a familiar medieval fantasy realm that is pretty much at peace at the beginning of the book. Because this is a character-driven story, this layered world is revealed to us through the eyes of the POV characters. The world building is neatly done, and the info dumping about the mythology and history was not overwhelming. The credit for this goes to the storytelling style that makes it easy to visualize the story. There is magic in this world, but it is not central to the plot. At this point, we are only introduced to the basic rules of the magic system. There are other races that exist in this world, like elves, dwarves, and more, each with their own rich culture, lore, and languages that have been barely touched upon. Women do not have much say in the governance of the realm, as it is very much a patriarchal world. There is good amount of emphasis on how commoners survive in this harsh world, which is in stark contrast to how the nobility live in their luxurious castles. The characters are the real winners in this book. The main duo are very entertaining, and their distinct personalities shine through their mannerisms and dialogues. Though they are interesting, they are in need of more character development. Still, since this is the first book in the series, I was content with their individual arcs. Right from the opening chapter, Royce and Hadrian have been set up convincingly as street-smart thugs with a dangerous reputation. It is clear from their discussions that these are two men who have had many crazy adventures together that cemented their bond over the years. Though we are not yet given their backstories, the ease with which they work as a unit is truly a pleasure to read. Hadrian is a do-gooder, a mercenary with a heart of gold, while Royce, the more practical and cynical one, ends up being forced to do good deeds because of Hadrian. We also have a good supporting cast that includes a mysterious wizard, a simple farm girl, an endearing monk, a spoiled prince, and a headstrong princess. The female characters are given their moment to shine when they each take charge of a hopeless situation and do what they can to persevere. Yet, they are not interesting enough and sometimes are a little bit annoying. The Church of Nifron plays a hidden powerful adversary scheming to overthrow kings and murder all those in the way of their grand plans. But what was the trigger point that made an entire organization to break faith with the emperor whom they worshipped? Also, how did the powerful elves lose the war to Novron? There are more such mysteries that I can't wait to unravel. The effortless and immersive writing style makes the story really enjoyable. The narration is evenly paced with a fast-moving, digestible plot. What is truly exciting is that there are plenty of hints that the story is heading to some large-scale terrible event in the future volumes that helps build a lot of anticipation. The heart of the story is the friendship between Hadrian and Royce. There is a deep understanding and humor in their brotherly banter, and even their silences highlights their strong bond. The author successfully makes us believe in their abilities to accomplish impossible feats. Each of the storylines is tied up well, blending in smoothly with the real story of treacherous political conspiracies and the mystery of gods and elves in the background. I enjoyed the casual dialogue style and modern slang mostly, but sometimes they are too plain and tend to feel out of place for this setting. There is nothing inspiring about the prose either. Though the overall lore and politics is interesting, there is an independent storyline for each section that seems too simplistic. For example, the second part of the book is about a monster hunt. It got interesting only when the origin of the beast is blended with the ancient history of the land, giving us more details of the age-old conflict between elves and man. The action scenes are initially exciting, but too short to be impactful. The Battle of Medford was dull and not atmospheric. It also concluded very quickly and easily, with the young king charging in to protect his people. Similarly, there are other convenient plot elements to push the story forward and moments that made no sense, especially when it came to some of the plans executed by the church. For example, why did they think duplicating the elven sword would actually work to kill the beast? Is that how elven magic works? After scheming for centuries, the plan to present the fake heir to the world seemed weak and reckless. They didn't have any ready backup plan either. I also wish there was better build-up or misdirection to some mysteries. There were obvious hints right from the beginning to some revelations. Theft of Swords is an excellent start to a fantasy series that promises a well-developed lore and deeper world building in the upcoming books. There are no exceptional female characters here, nor is the book meant for those who prefer more graphic, darker medieval fantasies. Theft of Swords is a story of lasting friendships, hope, and resilience in the face of human greed and convoluted beliefs. I'm rating this book a score of 7.5 out of 10. I would recommend this book to fantasy beginners of all age groups. This is definitely the kind of series that has a reread value. There are familiar fantasy tropes used, and some of the plot elements bear similarity to The Witcher and other fantasy heavyweights. Yet, the author has managed to make the overall plot fun and built an immersive world with characters you will love to root for. I hope this book review has inspired you to pick up a copy of Theft of Swords. A big, humongous thank you for supporting this channel. I will catch up with you in the next one. Till then, keep turning those pages. Bye.